head. Get up, get out of bed. Live, love, laugh, and be happy.
Oh, yeah. Let's get it. Here it comes, y'all. It was just a Saturday morning. A thing called Facebook. You saw Craig O'Neal jamming. Thought you'd give it a look. Judging by what it appears, Craig O'Neal's still crazy after all these years. Oh, yeah. And Baby Boomer says, without warning, Baby Boomer claims he's going to light up your morning. Woohoo! And the people say, yeah! Unless they just woke up and then they went, yeah. And welcome to Saturday Morning Live, brought to you by Walnetto Arts and Entertainment, where the humor is off the wall, but the art is on the wall. Here from the shores of the Spring River, which, if it could talk, would say, I need more rain so I can be deeper, much deeper. Of course, it's a tradition. We say hello to Maria Chudy Swicegood, always the first to show on the show. And Daryl Whitehead, good morning. Lori Pluggy, good morning. By the way, Maria Chudy Swicegood says, happy anniversary, Jane. Jane's at the other end of this table eating breakfast. When she's done, we're going to bring her on. But first, ladies and gentlemen, you're just in time for Lori, Daryl, and Maria, and Matthew. You're just in time for the KamalaDonald Quiz. We're going to play a game to start off this show. That's right. We're going to play a game to start off this show. How much do you really know, about this presidential election and this campaign that's going on? We're going to test it. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you a fact, make a little statement of fact, and you have to determine, is it Donald or Kamala? Is it from their personal histories? Now, I got this off both of their websites, so you'll know there is some validity, sort of. Excuse me, do I hear a grain of salt rolling rolling up to your breakfast table? Here we go. Now, I'm going to give you the statement, and I'll give you 10 seconds to answer, and then I will tell you the answer. How about that? And that way, we'll just know how you're doing as we go along. Now, I'm thinking if you score 80% or above on this, I've got 10 statements. If you score 80%, you're right on. You are ready for November. You can tune it out the rest of the time, like we all don't. Here we go. Donald or Kamala? First one. Began career while still in college. I start my clock now. Is that Donald or Kamala? Began career while still in college. Who do you say? 8, 9. The answer to that is Donald. That's right. That was Donald Trump while at the University of Pennsylvania. Did you know that? He went to the University of Pennsylvania. He started in his daddy's business. Okay. Number 2. Once had a fling with a syndicated talk show host. Once had a fling with a syndicated talk show host. Donald or Kamala? 8, 9, 10. If you said Kamala, you are correct. Congratulations. That's right. She had a fling with Montel Williams, and they were an item at one time. Bet you thought that was Trump, didn't you? Nope. Gotcha. Number 3. Is a Baptist. Is a Baptist. Practicing Baptist. Donald or Kamala? Give it to me here in 7, 8. Donald or Kamala? If you said Kamala, congratulations. Kamala Harris talks of her Baptist heritage and is a practicing Baptist. Number 4. Oh, this is so much fun. By the way, Lori Pluggy, you got it right. Look at her. She is on fire. Well, she got the first one wrong, but that's okay. 80%, you're doing great. Number 4, father was active in Democratic Party. I didn't use any conjunctives here. Father was active in Democratic Party. Donald or Kamala? Here we go. You have 10 seconds. Lori Pluggy, you're on fire. You're doing great. Keep it up. I'm looking at your K's. And the answer is father active in Democratic Party. That was Donald Trump. Very active in the city of New York. Helped get a mayor elected. All right, here we go. Number 5. We're halfway through. The maternal grandfather was an activist for women's rights. Now, look how I've worded that. The grandfather was an activist for women's rights. Is that Donald or Kamala? Daryl Whitfield says Donald, but I think that's in reference to another question. But the answer is Kamala. And judging by what we've been seeing, you probably got that one right. Okay. Number 6. This one's tough. At age 12, lived in Montreal. At age 12, lived in Montreal. Is that Donald or Kamala? What's it going to be here, y'all? Age 12. Time's up. It is Kamala. In fact, she graduated a Montreal high school. Surprise! Okay, number 7. Was child number 4. Child number 4. Lisa, you're doing great too. Lisa Polk is on, and she is nailing it. Child number 4. We should call this the Lisa Polk quiz. Was child number 4 Donald or Kamala? The answer is Donald. He was the youngest of 4 children. How about that? You know that? Okay. Number 8. Got behind the Abraham Accords establishing Arab diplomatic relations from 2 Arab countries with Israel. Got behind the Abraham Accords establishing Arab diplomatic relations from 2 Arab countries with Israel. Who would that have been? Donald or Kamala? You ready? In 8, 9, 10. It is Donald, with some help from his son-in-law, Jared Kushner. But it is Donald. See, I was going there thinking you might think that because Kamala was vice president and traveled the world, she would be the one that did that. No. That was Donald. All right, number 9. Campaigned for higher bail for criminals who had perpetrated gun crimes so they wouldn't re-perpetrate. Who is that, Donald or Kamala? Campaign for higher bail for criminals who perpetrated gun crimes so they wouldn't be a source of recidivism. One of my favorite words. Not a favorite practice, but a favorite word. And the answer is Kamala. She looked for higher bail while the DA in San Francisco as a way to cut down on repeated crimes. Kamala gets that one. And finally, in the D or K game, number 10, was involved in over 3,300 court cases. Was involved in over 3,300 court cases. Donald or Kamala? Who do you got? In 9, 10. And the answer to that, ladies and gentlemen, was Donald. I know you were probably thinking Kamala because she's an attorney, was a practicing attorney, comes from that background. Donald Trump was and still is involved in court cases, over 3,300, and that was, reading the website, 2 years ago. If you've scored 80 or above, Congratulations. Now, I played that game in 2012 on Channel 11. I did it exactly like I just did it with you and did it on the air. It, to this day, will always be remembered as getting more complaints from people than any other game, or excuse me, any other commentary that I did on Channel 11. And I did some, well, not just real controversial commentaries, because I stay away from conflict, but I did some that were towing the line, but this one got more complaints. And the only thing I can figure is that people do not want me to depict the person they're so strongly against as equal to the person that's running against them. Does that make any sense? People do not like the egalitarian approach to making the two candidates equal. And I don't know if it was Trump fans complaining, excuse me, it wasn't Trump at the time. It was, help me, who ran against Barack in the second election. It was Barack Obama against Mitt Romney and at that time. And so there were people who, I don't know if they were complaining because I equated Barack Obama with Mitt Romney or vice versa. Because the candidate that people are not for has to be the bad guy. And if I'm playing with this, I'm not making that person that they're against the bad guy. And that's just the nature of our politics. That's where we are. And I would imagine I'll get some complaints with this. And I may lose some viewers. But I just thought it's interesting. Just take a look at the background, the American background of both of these candidates. And yes, far different circumstances than how they began. For instance, Kamala Harris's mother was a graduate assistant that worked on finding ways to detect breast cancer in DNA. Phenomenal. And the background, the educational background with Kamala Harris is just, her father was a professor, her mother, a scientist and researcher, and they divorced. The parents divorced when Kamala Harris was, I think, if I recall, she was 10. Remembering from the website. I may be off on that, but nonetheless. And Kamala's mother moved them around. She, at one time, Kamala also lived in Pennsylvania, and then in Minnesota, I believe it was, and then in Montreal, and then back to the West Coast. Anyway, fascinating. Need to let you know that this next week there will not be, and I know this is going to be sad for many of you, there will not be a Saturday Morning Live next Saturday. Jane and I are going to be in Rogers, Arkansas. Nobody knows about this except you watching Saturday Morning Live, but there is an Arkansas Department of Transportation conference. They call it SASHTO, which is an acronym for this long thing I can't remember. But there are going to be highway department commissioners and representatives from all over what amounts to the Southeast Conference: Alabama, Tennessee, West Virginia, Mississippi, Texas, Louisiana, South Carolina, Kentucky, all of them converging on Rogers and Bentonville for this big, huge conference. And the reason I'm going to be there is I'm going to attempt to entertain these people. Oh, you bet we're going to call the hogs. We got to show them. I'm just wondering, the only thing that makes me a little bit nervous about it is not doing jokes for them. It's just all of these highway people showing up, driving through Arkansas, and I get a little self-conscious about our highways because you can just see them going through Arkansas going, oh, that median could have greener grass, or oh, that easement could be a little bit wider. Ooh, look at the size of that pothole. Okay. Jane's laughing, but I think it's out of... Jane's here, ladies and gentlemen. Jane's, welcome. She's got 2 baked potatoes. They're not baked potatoes. Plain rock. Look at that. Plain rock. Watch what happens in the next couple of minutes. Maria Chudy Swicegood gives you a 4 emoji hand clap.
I found the.
Whoops. Yeah, you need to put your mic.
I'll put it on my apron.
Put your mic on.
Don't you love this apron?
I do.
I found this when I was walking by the river.
And I watched her find it. I was walking by Jane, who was walking by the river, who was walking by that rock.
There's a big mouth.
The rock.
There's a big mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And
you're Hardy's rock
I don't know if, and this one has kind of a face, but I don't know. Anyway.
Now, we've only got 4 minutes left, 3 minutes left on the space cast.
Holy cow. Well.
Okay, 4 minutes. I'll give you an extra minute.
Oh. Aren't you going to talk about something? Or
I'm just going to watch you. We're all going to watch you.
This is what I used to paint them with. I have another one over there that I've been working on.
Mm-hmm.
And I finally have figured out a place and way to sell these. I didn't want to put them on my website. And I kind of sell them to local customers that come over.
How about that?
But you're going to do, you and our
Wait a minute. My brother, who's in the, who by the way is in the Libby, Montana studio, is going to add the graphics. So, Phil, put in Jane's website right now. These rocks are going to be hot.
Not on the website. You didn't let me finish.
Okay.
You and our son Thomas, who makes crystal jewelry, are going to run a booth at Harvest Fest this year. And they've told me not to come because I've been there, done that many years. And I thought I'm going to have some smaller paintings, and that's a perfect place to sell these rocks.
And we'll sell the rocks at Harvest Fest in Hillcrest. They are the best.
October.
And we invite you to come pass the Jane and Craig test.
All right. Here's, I don't know if they can see that.
Oh, sure.
This looks kind of, don't touch it. It's still wet. You just put your hand on this tongue.
Look at the eyes. Oh.
No, here, honey.
Look at that. Oh, I just smeared the
that's
smile.
what I tried to tell you.
And we've got a nose now.
Thanks so much.
Oh, they could be rock puppets.
I know it. This one looks like one. Hi. How you doing?
Well, keep working. I'll talk about that wedding in India.
All right.
That's amazing. Did y'all read about that wedding in India? Anant Ambani is chairman of India's largest conglomerate, Reliance Industries, and is worth, I think, if I recall the article in Time Magazine, is worth over $133 billion.
Billion?
$133 billion. So he puts on this series of wedding events that last 7 months and spent, get this, $300 million. And they were attended by American celebrities, from everybody from Kim Kardashian to, well, I mentioned Jerry Kushner. He and
oh, really? They went?
They went. Not Melania. What's the
Ivanka.
Ivanka. He and Ivanka went. A bunch of people went to that big, huge wedding in India, or as the Time Magazine called it, their big fat Indian wedding.
What kind of company does that?
I'm sorry, I misspoke. $600 million.
What kind of company is it?
Well,
Tech?
I don't know, but chances are we all owe him money.
No, maybe not.
Trouble is, it added to the. Here I'm going to sound like Bernie Sanders. It added to the disparity of income in India, where the richest 1% owned 40% of India's wealth. So that's just not right. Everyone needs to keep that in mind. The top 1% in India are like the top 1% here. How's that? Is that pretty good?
Yeah, we got to pop bubbles.
Oh, okay.
Now I'm getting the mouth.
Oh, look at that.
Don't you touch it. It's paint and it's still wet.
Jane and I celebrated our 53rd wedding anniversary last Tuesday. We had a wedding that totaled...
It was the most inexpensive. I did everything I could to keep it inexpensive.
Totaled...
you can kind of tell from...
$85.
No, but the little everything from wearing my aunt's my Aunt Sally's wedding dress altered to fit me, and I believe the veil was my great Aunt Sarah's, and then all the bridesmaids, because there were a lot, because my mother kept picking them and telling me, "Oh, they're going to be one of your bridesmaids." The dresses were handmade from a pattern, this little peasant dress, the puffy sleeves. I mean, it's back in '71, and the empire waist, easy to make, and it was my colors were pink. Our flowers were magic lilies. I said, let's just pick the magic lilies out of grandmother's yard. And I had no idea. They were freaking out because you never know. Do y'all know what magic lilies look like? Big pink lilies. Anyway, they were worried they wouldn't bloom or would have already bloomed, but they were perfect, and the church was full of them. Okay, let me get back to Mr. Rockface.
53 years, ladies and gentlemen, never had a fight. Never had a fight. They were called lectures.
Or disagreements.
That's
different points of view.
I'm going to use that joke at the RDOT conference.
Yeah, I've heard that one a few times.
Mm-hmm. She's heard it a bunch.
But that's all right. I love you.
And I'm not charging her because I don't know if y'all are aware, but I'm independently wealthy. I mean, I can't put on a 7-month wedding celebration, but we're very wealthy. My father sold orange barrels to the highway department.
Bada bing! I hear crickets.
Yeah, I will too.
I've also heard that joke about 15 times.
Yeah, but maybe at the RDOT conference it'll go over.
They'll appreciate it.
Sure. They're a bunch of road scholars. Get it? Okay.
I got it. Okay.
Daryl Whitfield says, I got married on
tie.
Halloween. Never forgot the date, just the date.
Halloween?
Never forgot the date, just the date. Just this date. I'm sorry. No, the date.
Now that's unusual.
Daryl, thank you. Now I'm wanting to know more.
Why Halloween?
Yeah. Were y'all in costume? Were the in-laws witches and wizards?
What's that movie that that became kind of a cult classic? And
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Rocky Horror Picture Show. Maybe they sang songs from that or something. That would be funny.
Alice Housley, once again, gives an endorsement of my wife, which I do too, every Saturday. But Alice says it so beautifully. Jane is very talented.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Alice.
Thank you.
Thank you. There's no emoji for Jane being talented. So
okay, see, he's beginning to get a personality.
Okay.
I love that. Don't. Okay.
I'll just
carefully.
hold it flat-handed, closer to the camera since I'm that way.
Yeah, don't drop it.
On sale
Saturday, not yet.
On October 12th in Hillcrest with Harvest Fest. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have to leave you with that wonderful shot. It's been a fabulous day to be with you. Hope we've gotten it off to a good start on Saturday Morning Live. Now, tell everybody about this because when you see what my brother Phil can do when we put this on YouTube, Craig O'Neill, Saturday Morning Live, Arkansas. Make sure you hit, what is it?
I don't know.
Hit the button that says,
oh, that you want to subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe. That's our say favorite. And with that, thank you. Make sure you tell people about this on YouTube. That way I can pay my brother. And he hates it when I say that.
Bye.
Sweetheart, I'm ending the video. They're not seeing this, I swear.
Okay.